So how do we get there? This is the penultimate session before we hand over to Martin. What are these essential ways of thinking, being, and doing for 2030 and beyond? As we've kind of looked through already today, we have an era of great complexity ahead of us. And as we said, we've complicated and complex value chains. So we're serving multiple different stakeholders, and the hospitality sector sits at the intersection of all these major other sectors. All these systems are in transition today by the forces of those different market elements that we've already explored this morning. And so it is now an imperative business case for the future. There's a growing number of solutions and innovations emerging across all these interdependent systems. But unpredictability in today's environment requires leaders to adopt new strategies to manage this journey effectively. And whilst there are indeed many solutions out there, innovations alone are not enough. We've emphasized today the importance of strategic and resilience, enabling organizations to anticipate and respond and to these rapid political, technological, and market changes. The need for flexibility in our operations and for teams that can overcome decision paralysis and focus on adaptability rather than prediction, because we just don't know what lies ahead. So by treating decisions as experiments and continuously adjusting strategies, leaders can navigate uncertainty and empower their teams to thrive amid this chaos, which has become the new normal. These approaches can help steer businesses through these ongoing disruptions effectively. And navigating today's level of volatility demands not just agility, but a willingness to rethink how we lead, plan, and adapt. Leading through chaos is about learning how to ride the storm and helping our teams to do the same. So our penultimate session today is indeed about a solution, and this solution is one that lies within all of you. How do we show up in new ways today to lead the way forward? And this is where those living systems principles refer to the cards on your tables now in the brown envelopes. So if you want to open up your brown envelope for the final set of card play, here you will find a really helpful framework under the living systems principles created by the Capital Institute. And this is what we call regenerative economics. So you can have a play and pass these cards around in the next deconstruction. But really, net positive hospitality, as we said, regenerative by design, calls for a new kind of leadership in this age of disruption. So that traditional top-down leadership, to some of the points you've already brought up today, no longer serves today's challenges. We need to be adaptive and responsive. We need to empower all our stakeholders to participate in a journey towards net positive and allow all these people and places to thrive that the industry depends upon. So living systems dynamics might be a new concept today. It might not be, I think, for some of you. But for those whom it's new, really feel free to take away the set of cards. And there's so much more to explore here as a new framework for navigating today's complexity. As leaders today, we really have to shift away from command and control to co-creation. So it's a new paradigm. We have to sense and adapt and co-create with our stakeholders, with our SME value chains, and with the places in which we operate. It's not about having all the answers, because we just don't have them. But it's about stewarding, again, something that you guys already brought up today. Decisions are not fixed. We have to see all of this future coming as experimentation. And it's really difficult for leaders today, but we have to become comfortable with discomfort. Because, as you've seen already this afternoon, we just don't know what's coming next, and it is uncomfortable for human beings to not know what to do and where to go next. But what we can do is enable our organizations and the people within them to also feel like it's okay to be learning and to be curious and humble. And so we really have to think about holding space as leaders for tensions today. And in this space of tension, which is in one of your cards, edge effect, this is where the answers will start to emerge. But this has to be a mindset shift. As I think all of you are already embracing, we must see nature as an inspiration and teacher. That is one system on this planet that deploys innovation, adaptiveness, responsiveness, abundance, and it continues to try despite the over-extraction that we have. Nature understands that everything is interconnected and interdependent, and so are all of your people and your different stakeholders. We have to embrace diversity because innovation comes from all of those contexts at the edges of one another. And we have to recognize that things come in cycles. This is not a linear path forwards, it is a modular, circular path forwards. Systemic health is a way to view the potential of your organizations to really thrive in the future. So we must ask different questions, not necessarily, right, what's our strategy? But what is the potential of these ecosystems that we're operating underneath our brand or underneath our management company? Are we nurturing healthy relationships across our value chain, allowing them all to thrive and to contribute? Do we have the carrying capacity to navigate what lies ahead? And who are our keystone and pioneer stakeholders? And are we nourishing them? Innovation, as we said, comes from the edges. So it's about empowering everybody to participate in this and inviting them to do so and enabling them to do so through trust. So equipping others with decision-making power away from command and control. Looking at cross-functional collaboration and encouraging entrepreneurship. And it's also okay for us to fail because none of us have the answers. So by you showing up and demonstrating that is okay, it will enable others to have a go at trying what they think is the right thing at that moment, but under your guidance. How do we get from fragility, this brittle status of sustainability today, that is out the moment politics gives us an opportunity, and build this into the DNA of our companies and how we operate because we recognize the business case? It's about flexibility, diversity of those partnerships, and encouraging that continuous feedback loops, just as nature does. And we all recognize the importance of place, and stewardship of those places gives you your social license to operate. So how do we respect and empower and restore or enable the most abundant forms of natural capital, human capital, and create that social capital context across our organizations to mitigate those risks? And this is looking at our handprints coming over our footprints. And then the health and vitality, those KPIs at the beginning, happiness, kindness. How do you build health and vitality? That isn't, we operate on a living wage basis and we have professional development opportunities, does not give you an indication of the vitality, the health, the well-being, and the way people feel about working in your company. But if you could find that, that is how you're going to keep people. How do you enable conditions for everybody to thrive? And finally, holding space again for transformation. That is our role as leaders today. So this means holding space for whatever is to come and creating the conditions, but you cannot predetermine and predefine what they're going to look like. It's not rushing to find the answers, but it's simply asking better questions, again, as you have fed back from the floor today. So I ask you to reflect a little bit about what you think the potential of your organization is based on the way you lead today. And not as a mechanistic machine, but as a living, thriving set of systems under one whole ecosystem. So final deconstruction today, because I know you're all becoming fun friends now. I would like you to just pass around the regenerative economics cards, just allow everyone to have a little think over the next 5 minutes, so just do 5. And the 3 questions here: how can we best show up authentically and impactfully on the pathway to net positive? How can we identify the right stakeholders? And I want you to think about why that's in commas. And what are the most effective tools to support and develop agents of net positive transformation? So just a few minutes for this final discussion.